Hey everyone, welcome back to the shop. It has been an absolute scorcher today. I even have sweat on my glasses still. Um, it was, I think it was 108 or 109 heat index. It was definitely up there today. So, uh, lots of stuff inside the house. And last night we got Mark came over for a little while last night, and we got the sway bars off. We did that really quick off the black car. I'll show you how to do a swap when we go to put them on the purple car. So taking them off, for small stuff like that, taking them off and putting them back on is better for one video. And then for something like what we're going to do tonight, taking it off is better as a single video. Putting it back on is better as a single video. So it's one of those things you have to kind of figure out what's a better way to do it. And I think this is probably the best way to do it. Just a pro tip on taking those sway bars out. Definitely the front sway bar. The rear sway bar, you got tons of room to work around and you can wiggle it out. The front sway bar is kind of like one of those bar trick puzzle things with the two horseshoes and the chain and the ring in the middle. It takes a little bit of finagling and wiggling to get that sway bar out, but it comes out the driver's side. What's the best way to do it? To get around the AC lines and the power steering lines and the other stuff that's down there, and you just kind of have to work it a little bit. It takes a minute to figure it out, but once you get it past the AC lines, it's pretty easy. So tonight we're going to focus on the throttle body and the intake removal on the 1.8, and this is all the Miata engines. 94 through, I don't know, 93 through 98. I don't know how long the 1.8s went. Or actually, it would work on the NBs too. So a lot of this is going to be the same. First things first, disconnect the battery. Do you know why? Because a couple of the bolts underneath the plenum are right next to the starter cable, and that's a direct shot. And if you have a boot on there, that's great, but there's still a risk of sliding that boot out of the way and welding. So disconnect the battery. The battery's disconnected on this car. So that's one thing to really, really be careful of. Next off, you're probably going to drip a little bit of coolant. So have something to catch coolant underneath there, or prepare to clean it up right away. The IAC, idle air control, the IAC, whatever you want to call it, on here. I'll just show you on the other throttle body, because it'll be a little bit difficult to see inside there. These guys have coolant lines to them. This has air. This has coolant. These two guys have coolant on them. And what they do is they control the idle air, how much air goes into the car versus fuel, and at startup. So when it's cold, you're going to get more fuel than air. When it's warm, you're going to get a much nicer mix. So when this warms up, courtesy of the coolant, it gives you a better mix. It's less fuel, more air. So this is our powder coated one. He's pretty cleaned up. You can see I just dripped some coolant on my finger because there's still some coolant in there. I thought I got it all out, but the more I turn this around, the more coolant I have on my hand. So that is that. Also, the gaskets are usually reusable. If not, get the really nice Velcro gaskets, both for the throttle body and for the intake plenum. So that's really important to have a nice clean gasket. These are metal and they're aluminum. They're very nice gaskets. If you can get the Velcro, get the really good gaskets. Spend another $2. Please, please. Now I got to get this stuff off my hands. Make a big enough mess in here. I don't need to make any bigger of a mess. I still have not figured out why there was oil coming out of the cruise control vacuum line, but I'll figure that one out a little later on. So I'm going to bring you guys over. I'm going to grab a light put it overhead, and I'm gonna bring you guys over and kind of do a side shot so that I can work from the front. And we'll do the throttle body first because that's sort of in the way, and then we'll do the intake plenum. So I know it's two different names, but they're kind of the same thing. The plenum is actually the big, large body, and the intake is actually where fuel air mixes. So on this, it's a combination intake plenum. And so trying to describe it, some cars have like a full blast regular intake, and then they have a plenum that distributes. So it's one of those, since this is kind of a very small piece, short in one, you just kind of call it a plenum or you call it an intake. So for the purposes of this, we'll just call it an intake. It's a lot easier. But if you want to be technically correct, it's an intake and a plenum. So it's kind of, I don't know, trying to think of something that it's similar to. It's like saying orange and citrus. So if you say orange, well, orange is part of citrus. And, you know, if you say lemon, lemon is also part of citrus. By the way, the only the only magnetic part on the hood, this is all aluminum. So the catch is actually steel. You can use that to hold your light. There's still crap on my hands. So also the header is in here. I think you guys can kind of see that down there. Got these swapped over to regular black, and I sanded off the orange on the block off plate there from Super Miata. The orange is driving me nuts. It's one of those, it's a mental OCD thing. It is a really awful orange color. I know it works great. It's just an awful color. So I sanded that off, and we'll get some clear coat on there just to make sure that it doesn't corrode or anything like that. It's a nice aluminum plate, just not for me. So the tools we're going to be using are going to be very simple. Let's see, we have a 8 to take off. Normally you would have your intake here. Where is he? Where's one right here? So you would have your intake tube right here. So see, technically this is your intake. Air is intaked into the plenum. So you normally take this off. These are 8 mils to take that off. And you don't have to, if you have a stock air box, you don't have to take the stock air box off, but obviously don't have the air box in here because we're doing this. Oh yeah, and sorry, the header did come off. There's 2 bolts on the bell housing, 2 17mm bolts. Those came out, gave me enough room to wiggle the exhaust out, put the new one in, tightened everything down, 32 foot-pounds on all of these, and you cross bolt them for all of those. The ones at the collector, you don't have to cross bolt, you just get them tight as hell. Same thing for the ones on the bell housing, were 48 foot-pounds. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head, but super easy once you get those 2 bolts. I didn't show you guys that because it is a pain in the ass to lift this car, and it looks so hokey because I don't have a lift here. So I didn't show you guys that, but there's 2 bolts. You can see them on the bell housing. There's a bracket that holds the exhaust. On this car, that bracket had rusted off on the black car. So that's why I didn't have it there and I didn't know about it. On this car, it's still here. So let's get the plenum off, and we'll get the throttle body off. You guys with me? Okay, here we go. If you want to, you can say something in the chat. It seems very, very quiet, but if you guys don't want to, that's your call too. So I'm going to drop you down here. And this is the other part about being tall. God, it sucks. Especially with low cars, because I am just hunched over this whole time. That's why a lift is nice, is you can get low cars up a little bit higher than I mean, I dropped the stand all the way down. It's all the way down low. So let me tilt up so I can see the screen, and then tilt the camera down, maybe. Hang on a sec. Oh, that's as far down as he goes. So, okay. There we go. So we're going to take this off. And we're going to take this off. We're also going to be taking the fuel rail off. Now, since we're taking the fuel rail off, we should empty the fuel injectors because they're currently under pressure, about 60 psi right now, which is not a huge deal. That's kind of like a garden hose, but it's a good idea to empty it. And the easy way to do it is to pull your, I think your fuel injector fuse is right here. Yeah, you have a 30 amp fuel injector fuse relay right here. Pull the relay out right up here. I don't know why he's not. Anyway, fuel injector relay, you pull that relay out, start the car until it dies, you're done with fuel pressure. Turn it off. You can put the relay back in. Just don't start the car again. And turn off the battery and then don't start the car. Then you have no pressure in your fuel rails or extremely low pressure. Now you are probably going to have some fuel leakage, so be sure to have a rag handy to soak that up. And same thing with the coolant down here at the IAC. So that's kind of it. We do need to remove the throttle cable, and that's actually pretty easy to do. So we'll just get cranking on this. You just go kind of push it open full throttle, and then it's a lot like a bike brake cable. It should slide out of here. Of course, he'll be a huge pain in the ass once I have the camera on, right? So there we go. We have the throttle cable off of the throttle body. We're going to have to remove it from this too. And these are 12 mil and these are 10 mil. So we'll take this bracket off as well. So we'll get some 12 mils, and then we're just going to fold it's just a flex cable, like a internal braided cable. And we'll just flex him up and out of the way so he doesn't mess with us too much. So a pair of 12s will get you 15. Oh, before we get started, we need the proper motivation. Thank you, Amazon, for delivering today because, hey, let's see. Adrenaline Chuckies. Hey, Brian. Brian, you've already done this. You've already done this about what, 87, 88 times? Yeah. He knows how to do this stuff. So you can't fool him. And also, when you're, oh my gosh, why aren't you coming apart? Do I need more leverage here? Oh my. Sorry, it sounded like George Takei there. When you're doing a cable like this that has its length set, pick one side that you're going to loosen. So you're holding at the front. You want to loosen the back on this one. It's arbitrary, whichever one you pick, but only loosen one, because then you're only tightening one and you'll keep the same setting, or at least really damn close. When you loosen it, pull it all the way back so that you know that's the end that you loosened. This has a little rubber grommet and he slides right out. So there's that guy. And you can see this nut is all the way at the back. The other one still has threads on them. So I know that the back is the one that's going to go up. So we're going to set him down there out of the way. If you want to, you can actually pull him out. He pops out right here. These little rubber guys, they just pop out. You can flip him over to that side if you want, but he's fine over here. So next up, I was sitting in the rolly stool because I've been hunched over this car and the other car for a long time, and I don't really want to be. It's our PCV hose for the IAC. So that's where he gets air from on startup. He gets air from the air box. Oh, and everything is going on a separate mat over here. So we have two different, we're not going to cross-pollinate anything. Oh, I'm going to take those two bolts off too. It's not really necessary, but Give me that 10. Give me that 10. Now, the one thing that I did notice between this is your Miata tool tray up here, by the way. You can also use this as a Miata tool tray. It's not very sturdy, no half-inch drive stuff. One thing I did notice is these two vacuum ports are different on the 96 intakes versus the 95s. So now these guys, we can take them off, take the bracket off. We can just put our bolts right back in there so we don't lose them. This is one of those parts that's been finished. So he has a cool finish on him. And it's protective and it works nice. But it's also a nice accent part. So on this car, it'll be Merlot Miata. It'll be powder coated to match the valve cover that's coming. So it's just one of those little touches things, just those little accent things. Let's get rid of some vacuum lines here. Oh, he's on there. And you want to be kind of careful with these because they are ancient. We were trying to be careful. What do we got? Trying to find good pliers to grab them with. I don't have good pliers to grab them with. I'm just going to go back to our needle nose. And sometimes you can twist just a little grip and a little bit of leverage. And once you get them twisting, that usually helps slide him off there. He doesn't have a barb on the end, so he's okay. We got to remember this guy. He is part of the evap system, which is up here. So put him there, get him out of the way. Start undoing electrical connectors. Here's your IAC control. We're also going to take off our TPS. Where's the lock on this thing? Come on, buddy. And with connectors like this, like these Molex connectors, sometimes it's best if it doesn't come off when you unlock it and you're trying to pull it, sometimes push in and that breaks the, dirt, seal, whatever was in there. Sometimes you can just push in and then pull back and that helps it release. So this guy will be out of the way. We're just going to hook him under that, get him out of the way. Stay there, you guys. So next up, we have to get this off. This is our coolant line that runs to it. Then we have a coolant line out of it, which is going to be a pain. So we might take the throttle body off and turn it so that we can get better access to those little hose clamps. And they're the little spring clamps like these. So we have a 12 mil nut, 12 mil nut, 12 mil bolt, and a 12 mil bolt. It's only the 4 on there. And that throttle body should be ready to say hello to everyone. I think we have, yeah, we've got enough distance here. Oops. So these are dissimilar metals. So you're probably going to hear a little pop like that when you're taking the bolts off. Just because it's going to break that seal that's been on there for 30 plus years. So trying to remember if these bolts, look at that. That looks brand new, doesn't it? So, trying to remember if these bolts are the same size or not. For some reason, I think this one is shorter. Yeah. Nope, they're the same size. That one has thread sealant on it. So these two lower guys are the same size. So we'll just set them off to the side. Grab these two nuts. That sounds bad. We're going to remove these two circular fasteners, circular threaded fasteners. Also, I'm going to pull this guy off because he's just going to keep getting in my way. And I'm not going to put him there because he's going to leak oil somewhere. So, two nuts are off. Now, this guy, remember, has been on here for a long time. So just be careful removing it. We want to try and save that gasket. So we'd really like to reuse it. That'd be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, oh, oh. Someone's been running the cheap gas. Nah, I can't really say that. It's probably just age, but it looks like a lot of soot. So we remove our gasket and just be careful. They don't fold it. Like I said, it's metal. It's pretty durable. But you don't want to jack it up, right? So hang on a sec. We're going to do actually, I have the fan in the wrong spot. I'm going to move the fan just so I can stay a little bit cooler. It's really nice outside, and I'm trying to bring some of that cold air in here. There we go. Hopefully that works a little bit better. Okay. So now we need to get these hose clamps off, and we have two hose clamps. One is back here, which is going to be hard for you guys to see. The other one is right here. And I'm going to switch tools. These pliers are great. See how they have two different, and they kind of switchblade between the two. This one works pretty well. These little hose clamps. Pinch the clamp, get it way out of your way, and then give it a little twist. Try not to rip the hose. Oh, we still have pressure here because we're leaking a little bit. You just want to be able to. What are you hooked on now? Oh, okay. Well, all right. I got to come over to that side because I can't see the clamp from this side. So he didn't turn. And this new hose from Super Miata is the exact distance to catch between the IAC and the throttle control. They do make regular hose grip pliers, but with a little bit of patience, you can actually get these guys, if you're careful, you can get these guys to wiggle off. Okay, so he's coming off, and he is going to drip a little bit of orange coolant. So we're going to put him vertical so that he stops dripping orange coolant. And then, that is a pain in the ass. He's still dripping. Hang on, we're going to plug him up. These are thread protectors. You can get them at any hardware store. They work great as plugs. Just put that little guy in there. Just remember to remove it before you do anything else. Ooh, that coolant is ripe. So this guy should go vertical right here. And of course, there we go. I'm going to walk that clamp down as far as we can. And then break this loose without tearing up the hose, because the hose is actually in really good shape. So we are loose. And before he comes completely off, I'm just going to get a thread protector quick so that we're ready to plug him up. And then I need to get some paper towels. This hose from Super Miata is really, when you're working on the car, it's in the way. There's a lot of double duty. So we're going to plug him up as well. And there, whoops, that's right side up. There's our throttle body, and you can tell he's still leaking. That's all the stuff from the IAC. I'm just going to send him down to the floor and I'll wipe him up. So there's our throttle body off the car. That's it. Now this car would definitely benefit from a radiator flush, just a coolant flush, and we'll probably, maybe after the summer, we'll do something like that. But there's a lot of grease and crap underneath. There was a leak forming at one of the valve cover corners, and there was some stuff down there that got on a bunch of things. So wipe up whatever coolant spillage we can get to, and then we get to the stuff on the floor later. So now comes the fun part. We're taking the intake and plenum off. We have a bunch of vacuum lines, and these are all for ignition, cold start, EGR. There's a whole bunch of stuff. And for the fuel injectors. So let's get this guy off. This is such a crazy little hose, but we're going to try and take this hose off. If I can get this clamp moved around. He is in a very awkward position. So, I hate messing with these spring clamps because they always cut you. That's their job, right? So just careful back and forth. I barely have any grip on that. And this guy should slide out of the way, a little wiggle, and he's super flexible, so you can just put him up here. Next up, we have a bunch of vacuum lines for the EGR. We have 2 vacuum lines here, and again, we're just going to help break them free because they've been on there for a long time. So blue one, and these are all kind of cut to length, so you know which one goes where. If you set it here, you're like, oh, that one obviously goes there. We're going to leave this diaphragm on here. We're going to unhook him though. And again, I'm going to push forward to tighten him on there. And then I'm going to pull back and he slides right off. So back here, you have a big wire bundle. This is fuel injector. This is, what else is back here? EGR stuff. There's a whole ton of stuff, and it has to kind of get disconnected. You have these factory clamps that are holding the bundle of wires together. I forgot how these guys go. I think you separate them. Yeah. If you split them apart, then they come apart. I think that's how they go. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. Okay. Of course, they hook on everything when you're trying to take them apart. So these guys, in order to come apart, you just separate them like that, and then you can lift the two tabs and pull them apart. So set him off to the side because we're going to need him again. Disconnect fuel injector stuff. I'm going to push these two connectors together and then release. And again, we're going to put him back there. We have a 10 mil back here that's on a bracket. Oh, this label, that's so cool. It just like disintegrates. It's had so much heat on it over the years that it just comes apart. So I'm going to see if I can get, oh, there's some of it. You can see. See if I can get this big chunk here. Yep. So yeah, this is whatever that part number is. It was on there for a while, but it's gone now. We don't really need it. So the other thing back here is in the back, you have a 10 mil. This big wire harness is actually braced up and away from the engine. So we need 10 mil with an extension. I'll just put it on a separate wrench. Apparently you have to hold the bracket. It's going to spin. I thought he had a notch in him. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to hang onto this nut. I'm going to take this bracket off. And I'm going to put this nut. Oh, it does have a stopper. I'm going to put this nut back on here so I don't lose him. All right. So there's that. Now, the other thing I have back here is the EGR. Remember that EGR tube that hooked up to the exhaust? He goes all the way around the back of the block, the cylinder head. And there are two 10 mil bolts. They're kind of tucked up under the fuel rail here. And, oh, we got to take that whole bracket off because, damn, okay. Because the EGR nuts are blocked by that bracket. So we're going to do a Rockstar break here and get some tools we need. I forgot that bracket blocks that thing. Damn it. It's always a hassle. But so these guys are actually on the back. They're right underneath the fuel rail here, and they're diagonal. So the bracket has to come out. I'll show you the bracket when I take it out. And then it's attached to the, yeah, it's attached to the plenum. What the hell is that guy on? This is another vacuum line down here. No, he's a ground wire. Sorry. We have the ground wire is also on this bracket. Okay. So the ground wire for the fuel rails. Also, we want to be really careful with the fuel because we don't want any leaks. Fuel leaks bad. Bad, 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 bad. I'm gonna use a slightly longer wrench here. Oh, and I want to make sure I'm on loose. Okay. Okay, so this guy I'm going to take off and I'm going to set to the side. So here's the ground wire right here. Here's the bolt that goes through it. And here's the bracket. And he goes right here. And that's where this big chunk of wire loom sits. So we're off there. And now we can get to our EGR nuts, and we'll use the same 10 mil. I'm basically doing this blind because I have no light back here. Now the EGR stuff can be kind of gross because it gets a ton of heat throughout its life. So it can sometimes get the nuts and everything else can get really corroded. And do you want to know why I hate spring clamps? I'll show you in a second. Because where the back of my left wrist is currently sitting is like 2 knives digging into it. Right here, this stupid hose clamp. God, those things are awful. They work okay, but they're just, all they do is slice your hands up. So there's one. Here comes the other. So we have our EGR nuts. I'm going to put those back over in the pile too. They'll be one of the first things we put back on, just because this is a metal tube and it barely flexes at all. So I have the EGR loose now. You guys can kind of hear it. It slides back enough to clear. Once the other stuff comes off, it'll be able to clear. So I'm going to set those 2 guys over there. We can pull our PCB. It pops out of here. And then he slides off of here. And again, we're going to put him down with our other tubing. It's actually not a bad idea to like block this off, but you just don't want stuff to get in there. So nothing's probably going to get in there, but you don't want any kind of metal or anything difficult in there. We have another connector here, which is part of the evap control. And we're going to loosen him, slide him out of the way. We have a vacuum line, which goes to the FPR. So yeah, this is our fuel pressure. And we're going to loosen this guy here. And he's just old school silicone hose, so you want to be careful with him. This can stay on. This can stay on. This bracket can stay on. It's all gonna, in this little hose, it's all gonna come off as one. So now we have everything disconnected. Our FPR is part of the fuel rail. So now what we can do is we can loosen our intake plenum, and we can just set this guy out of the way. We'll pull through, no problem. Well, let's get the injectors unhooked and get the wire up out of the way. Yeah, these injectors are a pain to get to because the locking tab is all the way back there. So it's always a good idea to have like a trim stick to help, and you just flex it against the valve cover if he wants to come out. Another good thing to do is check this. You guys see how I can wiggle this? So if you can wiggle that really easy, that is not a good sign. You want to there's two O-rings. There's one at the top and one at the bottom, one at the fuel rail and one at the block, and you want it to be super tight. Not super tight, but you want it to be very difficult to move. I don't know why this guy doesn't. I hate pulling from wires. I don't know why that guy doesn't want to come out of there. And these guys are pretty loose here. So that tells me that we need some new O-rings. And they're just butyl O-rings. They just wear out over time. They get hot, they get cold, they get hot, they get cold. It's just nature of the beast. 65,000 miles. I should hope that they're ready for a change. I don't know why this guy isn't popping. He should literally pop right off of there. He's being very stubborn. He does not want to come off. Frustrating. What do I have? I've got I don't know if these guys will work. This guy's supposed to get where did my trim stick go? This guy's supposed to grab the lock and pull on it. Oh, come on. But you can't get him in there to get on the lock. It's just the safety tab that's being a pain in the ass here. The other factor is that I can't see. I have my hands blocking all of the light that I'm providing. So I can't actually see what's going on down there. I swear to God, these guys unclip. I swear to God they do. Done it 100 times before. I don't know what the problem is tonight. Hang on a sec. It's sweat coming down into my glasses. The fan basically does nothing over there. I think I'm just cooling off the bugs. They're probably enjoying it. All right, where the hell did my Rockstar go? There it is. All right. I'm going to grab another light so I can see this. Because I am just jacking around in the dark here. I got to find steel. There we go. Okay, locking tab is down. There it goes. I am fairly certain that these injectors have never, ever, ever, ever been out of here. And again, I did the same damn thing. Wherever I put the light, my hands block it. I don't know what my mental difficulty is. There we go. He's off and he comes out. Okay. There you go. There's 2 out of the 4. Yeah, just wiggling those guys around, I can smell the fuel. Is that bad? Yeah, that's bad. Come on, buddy. There we go. All right, our fuel injectors are unplugged. What a pain. Also, you want to be pretty careful with that because you don't want to break off those locking tabs. I've seen these guys just fall off in races. They just lift and all of a sudden you're running on 3 cylinders or 7 or whatever. So that guy's attached to the fuel rail with a zip tie from the factory that does release. So, oh, look how long that guy is. All right, here's our release. I think he releases, maybe. We pull up on him. Oh yeah, we pull up on him. Okay. Oh, pull up on. There we go. So reusable zip tie. And you know it's a car project when you're bleeding. So this is the reusable zip tie that's on the fuel rail wiring. So now all of our injector wiring is up and away. Stash him over here. Be careful of the yellow magic wand. Okay. So next up, we have our fuel line still attached. So we have to detach our fuel lines here. And what we're going to do is we're going to mark them because they look so close and they're so close together. So we're going to mark one of the lines just with a piece of red tape so that we know, you know, okay, this one is red, goes to red. That's it. And you can use a paint pen, you can use whatever. Tape is easy because it comes off. And you can do masking tape, duct tape, whatever. I'm just going to clean my hands really quick. Use a piece of red tape on this top one. That way I know it matches. So yeah, we're going to use the injectors from the black car just because the O-rings are in way better shape because they got replaced recently. These injectors probably have 65,000 miles on them. I'm going to wash my hands quick, you guys. Sorry. Just take a second. I'm going to have to do it again after I get fuel all over them, but so I can't really call this a design flaw on the Miatas because it does actually work well. But it would have been nicer to have a different way to route those lines where you could take the plenum off. You could take the intake off without having to undo the fuel lines. You know, you could do the fuel rail separate from that. Oh, crap. There's a ton of messages here. You guys, someone's got to text me or something. I see all these messages now. All right, hang on. Where are we at here? Do I spy coolant reroute? Yep, it's a coolant reroute. Hey, Driftwood. Oh, man, I'm sorry about the Bell Fountain thing. I'm not going to make it this year. Oh, wait, it's August 22nd? 6 Miatas in the grid. I can't bring this one, but I might bring the neon. Uh, just did the reroute clutch master slave stuff today. Nice. 99 NB. Oh, that's okay though. It's still it doesn't matter, man. It's a Miata. Kevin is Bob Lazar undercover. What is what's Bob? Isn't Bob Lazar like the UFO guy? Like Roswell and all that stuff? Get fuel lines mixed up every time. No, and I only did that once, Brian. Or sorry, Adrenaline Junkies. I only did that once, and I spent an entire day full tank of gas. Everything's brand new. Everything's wired correctly. Changed out injectors. All of this stuff. I spent so much time, and then I'm like, did I put the fuel lines on right? And I swapped the fuel lines, and voila, that was my first time doing an engine swap on a Miata. And then the car fired right up. It was immediate. So yeah, for these fuel lines, just mark one or the other. It doesn't matter which. Just mark one or the other. I'm going to use these fuel lines on that plenum, on the new setup. So we're going to reuse these fuel lines because these are, believe it or not, in much better shape. I will go to O'Reilly's and look and see, but I don't think they have metric fuel lines. I think all of their stuff is inch. If they do have it, then we'll do new gate stuff. But this stuff actually works really, really well. And it's still very rubbery. It's not petrified at all. The ones on the other car are in bad shape. They've been Ohio'd out. So yeah. Yeah, I was reading up on the coolant reroute thing, and it's actually a really nice design. It does, for keeping cars cool, it's great. So I didn't see any downside to it. Plus, it's like super expensive. It's like $300 for the whole kit, and it's got everything in the back. And then the radiator's like $500. So I mean, it's like really expensive to do all that stuff. So this car came pretty loaded. Hey, that's a better view for you guys, right? I don't have to keep you all the way back there. And now you can also see some of the, I'll go into flashlight mode and you guys can see some of the soot inside there, maybe. Yeah. So this tells me probably not 93, but probably running 90, probably running 89. I don't think he's running 87, but I think he was running 89. And it's not as clean a burning fuel. When you have a liquid cooled engine, you want a higher octane, and that's why liquid cooled engines run really great on like nitromethane and stuff like that. And then if you have air cooled, you actually want it hotter, which is, I know that sounds weird, but you want it to burn hotter quicker. So that's why you run a lower octane. So on like an old 911, old Porsche 911 or an old VW, you want 87. It's better fuel and runs more efficient. You get more power. If you run 93 in a VW, 74 VW Beetle, you won't get as much power. It won't run as well. It's a very bizarre thing, but that's why they have these different octanes. And I'm old enough to remember leaded fuel. Of course, that was like being phased out, but yeah. So there was stuff like that. Oh, what's the question here? So why the new Plenum? The Plenum that was on the black car was actually it's Cerakoted like this. So that's why it's going to save me $500 in Cerakoting, and it's also considerably cleaner. No offense to the previous owner, it's considerably cleaner inside. The only thing I noticed, like I said, the difference was these two vacuum ports are offset on the 95 Plenum, and on mine they're parallel on the 96. That's honestly the only difference I can see between the two Plenums. I haven't been underneath, so I don't really know, but that honestly, that looks like the only difference. And I don't know why they changed the casting to do it that way, but Maybe is this one? I'm looking to see. I can see it right over there. Looking to see if that is, if that casting is still there. Yeah, not really. Yeah, they changed the casting right there. So this actually has two humps right here, and this is rounded off where this is, and it goes to the new hump. So it's a little further back too, I believe. So it's a little different casting up front. But yeah, this one is not Cerakoted, and it's going to go on the other engine that's getting sold. So on the 10,000 mile engine, and then the Cerakoted one is going to go on here. So it only has 10,000 miles on it. So let's get some tape on here and get some fuel, and then we can huff gas together. I'm not a big fan of huffing anything. Relax, people. It's a joke. Not a dick. Don't take it so hard. Okay. And I'm sorry, Brian. I know you guys are religious. I should be a little cleaner with my humor. A little more Brian Regan. A little less Richard Pryor. I know. So, super heavy duty duct tape. I don't want it coming off. So he gets red. He gets red. And now we know which one goes where. Of course, he's not going to stay on there. Why would he stay on there? That's all right. You guys will remember top one, right? So the hard lines are slightly flexible, not a lot. Don't crimp them or anything like that. Hey, we'll see if I can get our hose clamp to hold the red on. There we go. And then just going to grip this rubber line. Yeah. I don't know. I wish I had my hose clamp or my hose pliers, but they are not here. They are 1,000 miles away. So, gotta use what we got. Again, you can rotate this and break it free. Just be really careful not to rip the hose. I can hear it moving. You can also use a pick tool in the end, help break it free. Of course, I can't grab it. Okay. I think he's free. Okay. There we go. Now he's rotating. Need to get this guy down here. Get him to rotate. And I will tell you this right now. When they did this ABS, this is the ABS system. When they routed these lines, I don't know what sort of freelance rookie clown they had bending these lines, but hopefully he doesn't work there anymore, or he works in the art department, because this is terrible. That's just not, I mean, we're past like not professional. We're like, that's really bad. That's a huge failure. I mean, this shit is all over the place. And my strut tower bar doesn't work because of this line. So I have to get a new strut tower bar. This one, of course, my thumb catches everything. This one's a little lower. So it's a little more difficult to get wiggling. I don't know if you can hear that squeegee, but that's a good sound. Okay. He is rotating on his own. So that's a good sign. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the injectors off. So we're going to undo these 3 bolts and we're going to pull it out here and we're going to release the pressure up here versus here on the paint, on the other tubing and stuff. If it goes on the metal, it's fine. It's going to kind of clean it and it'll evaporate over there. These are 13s. It might be 12s. For some reason, I think they're 13s. Nope, they're 12s. Just like I thought. Just like I predicted. So we have 3 of them. And you want to be really careful when you remove these because there are phenolic spacers back here or ABS spacers that set the fuel rails up against the injectors at a perfect height. So you want to be careful. Don't lose those down there. They will go into the abyss. So be careful when you're taking these out. Just pay attention to that stuff. I'm doing the tappy tap just in case we have any weirdness or breakage or anything like that. I know that's a great way to shear off bolts. I'm trying not to do that. So I'm going to leave these bolts in here as my safety. So that when I raise this rail, I have another 0.02 seconds to save those spacers. So these guys are ready. And now, oh, wow, there's no pressure. So you can hold 2 of them. That third one, is he going to stay on the head? Nope. So wow, that's amazing. These injectors. Okay. So there's that injector. I'm going to see if I can get him out of here. I don't know if I have enough room to wiggle him out. There's one of the injectors. And yeah, these O-rings are just petrified. It's like solid plastic. This is supposed to be rubber and this is supposed to be rubber. This one's still kind of rubbery. This guy is solid. He's totally petrified. These guys have served a good life, but their life is over. So you can clean injectors, stuff like that. So I'm going to, since I have that one clear, I'm going to pull this bolt and this spacer. And here's what the spacers look like. So they are ambidextrous. They can go in either way. They can go this way or this way, but they're a very specific distance. So be very careful looking for these guys when you pull the fuel rail. And once you get fuel all over your hands, please go wash your hands. There's gnarly stuff in fuel. And I put these in the same order, front to back, just in case. I'm totally OCD like that. Of course there's 2 threads left on this, right? Of course there are. All right. So I'm using the bolt to hold that and then grabbing it from the back. So there's our third one. Successful. Now we've got this out. So I'm going to remove the injectors. think. Yep. There's another one. And these injectors will all have a little bit of fuel in them. When you release the pressure, it's number 4. And he's also, that one's a little bit of rubbery. Yeah. This guy's failed as well. Whoops. So that's 1. Those guys are in order. These guys in order. That was 4. Here comes 3. So now I have most of the fuel pressure off. All right, that guy was stuck in there pretty good on that side, but yeah. That means we left our little cookie in there. We're going to have to dig him out in a sec. Now, again, none of this is a bad thing. This is all sort of, I would just call it maintenance, especially with 65, 70,000 miles. When you pull the injector out, make sure all the parts come with it. So make sure this comes, this sealing ring, and this O-ring. And if anything else is broken, so like, what is it on number 3? See how he's missing the little cookie on the end? Gotta go back in there and dig him out. Fuel. God, and I hate being hunched over like that. Okay. So we need a pick tool. By the way, if you don't have a pick tool, you shouldn't be in the shop. Go get a pick tool. These are stupid cheap. You can get like a pack of 4. Please don't break off inside here. That would be very upsetting. These guys can petrify too. So don't feel bad if they do. So got the other cookie out. I just call them cookies. I don't know what their real name is. Slide him back on. Yeah, he's like super loose. He should be nice and snug on there. So those injectors are all done. All done. So once again, well, let's take our fuel lines off. I'm going to cap that one. I'm going to cap the feed line, not the return. So I need to get my cap ready. What did I use last time? Did I use green or gray? I got to look at the other car. So I capped it up and I can't remember what color I used. I used green. So, and of course I only have one green line, right? And that's all right. I do have a black that might fit in. That also sounds bad. So, green thread protector. And I'm just going to set him up here. Now, we're going to pop this off. Get the hose right to the end. And he's going to have a little pressure on him. Since you released a lot of the pressure up here, hopefully this doesn't have a ton of pressure, but he's still going to feed from the tank, and just cap him off really quick. We'll do the same thing down here. Oh, shit, he came off really fast. That guy doesn't fit. So instead of capping him, we are going to plug him. Where's the other plug? Crap. Because you'll still get fumes. So I thought I had a plug. Didn't I? And if you want to find any cuts on your fingers, mess with fuel. That's a great way to do it. And he doesn't want a cap, and he definitely, I don't know, maybe I can get the yellow to fit. At least stop fumes. There we go. Yellow's tight. Green fits nice, yellow's tight. All right. We're done screwing with fuel. So these lines are going to drain out a little bit as we pull. Like right now, we can pull the fuel injector system off of here. So let's just take this hose and bring our lines through here. They're going to dump a little bit of fuel in them. That's fine. Just make sure it doesn't fling back up in your face. And there we go. There's our fuel rail with our lines and our FPL, and that all comes out. That was the design I was talking about. With these going through there, not ideal. I'm going to set this one outside so that he can defume out here with the gigantic spiders. Saw another monster tonight. He was outside, thankfully. So we're done with fuel. I'm going to go wash my hands because it's all over. And I don't want to huff fuel. It's weird. I'm okay with grease and, you know, 0-40 and lift quieter and raw silicone on my hands. I did raw silicone every day for, I don't know what, 4 or 5 years. But fuel on my hands, I don't know what that is. It's one of those things. I've got to get it off of there. Get my nails clean so you guys can appreciate my manicure. Okay. Ugh. All right. So, throttle body's off, fuel rail's off. Fuel lines are off. And it looks a little different here, right? Without the fuel rail in there. And we can also clean up all the stuff on all the boogers and stuff that I put up here while we're taking stuff off. I get some cleaner. And when the plenum comes off, we'll also clean out these fuel, these threads, and where the fuel injectors go. We'll get some brake cleaning there and clean that stuff off. So up here we have 9 bolts in total. We have 5 up top and we have 4 underneath. Here is the fun. Sorry, there's also 2 right here, which of course this hose is completely in the way of. God, you guys. Okay. These 2 are, I showed you guys on the other one how they snapped. The one snapped. These are 14 mils. And these are 2, they hold the plenum, like right now, it's just on the block. These hold, or on the cylinder head, these hold it onto the block. It's a support up from the side of the block. It comes up from the side, and that's what goes on here. So we have to undo these 2 guys. We'll leave them loose for now, and then we'll take all of these guys off. And we got to be careful because they're all nuts. So there's 5 up top, and then there's 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 down below, and they're in between the 5 up top. So you kind of have to do it blind. This hose is going to be a huge pain in the ass to try and get to those because you have to come from underneath here. So you might have to just push them down. Yeah, I'm just going to push them down. So we'll break these guys loose, and then actually we'll save these 2 guys for last. We get all of these guys out, and we'll save those 2 guys for last. just because that hose is going to piss me off. And those guys are all 12s. So you'd be, damn, you'll be using a combination of long and short. You can use deep sockets if you want, but you'll be using combinations of this. So it's a matter of like finding them underneath there. Normally you don't have this gigantic hose in the way. Oh my God, what a mess. Cool design, sort of. So how far does this hose like come up out of the way? Okay, that could work, sort of. Just got to constantly hold it up there, right? So where is the one? See, normally you can put your hand under here and you can find it. And then you can get a wrench on it. So now this is where the unplugging the battery is so important. For this guy, we might just need to do the short and get him from the side, because this hose is gonna make things very difficult. Yeah, so let's do that. Oh, come on. Oh. Ah. Where the hell did he go? Didn't fall all the way down. Oh my God, he's got a Purelator filter on here. Yeah, we're doing an oil change too, aren't we? Well, where the shit did he go? Can't go that far. I just lost my deep 12 and that extension. Oh, there they are. Oh, well, how? Oh, that didn't help anything. There's no way. All right. Come here. Jesus. Okay. Let's try this again. What a mess. So come under here. Oh, this is not going to be as much fun as it looks, because I don't have a ton of room to move here. So I have to do this, take the wrench off. Oh, you can almost get it by hand. almost get it by hand. So there is our first lower. That's the one. We still have 3 more to go under there. It's a huge pain, you guys. Oh, we're bleeding again. And I'm huffing gas. Oh, it's killing me. Killing me. I'm gonna sit down for a second. Just being hunched over like that and huffing gas. Oof. I do a rock star break here. Oh, I did cut my hand back there. All right. We have more messages here. What else we got here? Bob Lazar. Lemons, Ohio this weekend. I didn't know there was Lemons in Ohio this weekend. I thought they were at NCM, which we did not get registered for because we still have the repair to do on the car. And we have to swap out those studs. And I got to find out that electrical issue with the alternator. Why we're not charging, which is very frustrating. All right. God. Ugh. Come on, fuel, dissipate. Just smells so bad. Ugh. I don't know how people can huff paint and fuel and stuff. It makes me sick, like nauseous sick. All right. Maybe we'll have better luck with the other stuff. I don't know. I wish I had something to hold that up out of the way. All right, give me a second here. Oof. Damn. All right. Okay. Where are we at? We were at this, but we're going to use the long extension and try and get our hand under there to get at number 2. And you do kind of have to do this blind, which sucks. But it does work. See, now normally I would just have tons of room. But since the upper rad hose, instead of going right here, now goes all the way around the back, I don't have that room anymore. There's no more luxury here. So try not to slice my hand open on this one. Now these guys are not super tight. I believe they're 32 foot-pounds. So once you break them loose, they should be kind of finger tight on here. I'll have to check the specs. There's number 2. And these guys are magnetic. So if you do lose one down there, you're probably going to be able to score it. Now I've got AC lines in the way here. Holy shit, is that annoying? You know what I need? I just figured out what I need. This is how we're going to do this. I'm tired. I hate this crap. Where did it go? Here we go. No. Yes. 1 and 2. Whoa, twisted him the wrong way. There we go. So, look at that. Nice. Now I can actually access stuff. So we got number 2. So we're going to come down here to number 3. So this is where it gets a little saucy because you have the starter right there. So you have to be very careful. You can easily do some welding. Why can't I reach that? Okay. Now, for some reason, the wrench got switched to tight, to tighten instead of loosen. Holy, the struggle. I can't switch it over. I actually can't reach the switch. Ow. Yeah, it won't switch over. Oh, there it goes. Once I get it off the actual nut, right? Then it'll switch over. No, there we go. Okay. It's just how my life works. So this little lever to change it from tighten to loosen had switched over. And when he's under pressure, you can't move him. So we got number 3. Do you guys believe me that the top 5 will be a lot easier? Okay. So there's number 3. And let's go with number 4. Again, I'm doing all of these like totally blind. I'm using the indents in the casting as my guides. And then doing a lot of feel down here too. So I have a huge wire harness in the way, which is part of the starter. And where is the nut? It's all the way back here. So come down here, clear that. Nope. We'll switch over to the smaller 12. Because I have to get past this wire here. This big wire harness that's back here. Okay. Yep. God, what a chore. This hose makes it very, very difficult to do this. Much more difficult than normal. Oh, he didn't come all the way off. All right, let's go back in here. Doing this blind is so much not fun. Yeah, this hose is not ideal. Okay, here's number 4 on the bottom. So yeah, it takes about half an hour to do the 4 on the bottom when you have this Super Miata hose. So there's number 4. Now, you guys want to see a fun part? This is the really cool part. Oops. Really is a Jeff wrench, just because torque, speed, everything else. Plus, I think I can use it on all of these. So to do the ones on top, there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. Oh, I gotta wrench that guy. And this guy, I'm gonna have to wrench too. So pretty close. Wish I had my extended wrenches. It'd be so nice. I have these longer ones that are really awesome. So let's come back here. And by the way, these engine mounts are also super, super sharp. So let's do these in backwards order. This is how quick the top side is. 5. Whoa, I knew I was going to do that. I knew I was going to do that too. Four. Three. I'm going to leave number 2 in there for right now. Because he's going to hold the top side while I get these 2 big-ass bolts down here. I just don't want it to fall over when I take these 2 big bolts out. So we'll get him finger loose. There's number 1. Yeah, he's already leaning. It's already starting to fall away. So we're just going to I'm just going to leave a couple of threads on there. I need a couple of 14s, some extensions on the Jeff wrench. Now, of course, with the air tools and everything else, this is so much faster. But I'm trying to show you guys how to do all this stuff, even with just kind of simple tools. These are all hand tools. Not too much specialty shit, but there's still some. And it is kind of daunting. There's our big mamma jamma that's not sheared off. These guys are twins, so it doesn't really matter which particular order they come off or go back in. Just trying to show you guys that it's kind of daunting to begin with, but once you've done it a couple of times, it gets a lot easier, even in your head. It's like, oh yeah, take me a couple hours to get the throttle body and intake off, swapped over. Hopefully I don't have a Super Miata upper rad hose to fight with. But yeah, now I know that trick. Damn, these guys are long. All right, now you can see we're loose here. So put the 14 away, 2 extensions away, clean up our hands slightly. So don't forget, we still have our EGR hard line back here. It's loose and there is a gasket, but we need to pull this guy away and slide it forward in order to get that out of there. It's a flex thing. He does flex and it's okay. So, all right. Oh, we can cut our, well, I don't think we need to cut him. Yeah, he's not going to lift up out of there. Screw it. We're cutting him. We'll do 2 new zip ties next time. All right. Hopefully it doesn't get in the way when we're trying to remove this. Oh, and we now have nut number 2 we can take off. Oh, that's kind of nice. The upper rad hose is holding the intake in place. Okay. Everything's unhooked. All of our injectors are out. Back here is where our EGR crossover is. So what am I missing? I'm just going to pull him out and then he has a gasket on him too. He wants to snap back into place. I don't know what other tube I'm missing, but I don't think I'm missing anything. Oh, you know what the problem is? This stupid hose. That's the problem. He won't. Oh, shit. Every time you try to move a little bit, makes it more and more difficult. Oh my God. You can't win with this damn thing. Holy crap. Okay. There we go. Okay. Jesus. Okay. So if you have a Super Miata radiator with the upper radiator hose, it goes all the way through here, disconnect this shit first. You're just going to fight this thing. It just is battling you the entire. Now I'm trapped down here. I have to figure out how to get that hose back up there without shredding this thing. Okay. Oh my God. Look at this. There's got to be a better design. There is our intake manifold in Plenum. God, you guys. This thing. What a mess. All right, so this is our original gasket, and he's actually okay. He's got some oil and stuff. We can wipe him down, but he's not bent. He's not split. So he's okay. And you can see our EGR tube back here, and he is flexible. He does flex. You can also see our starter set up here, and why go into those bolts, these lower bolts, just touch. Bzz, you can absolutely weld right there. So that's it. Intake plenum is off. Now, if you're going to be off for more than a day or two, actually, some guys do it immediately. You can cover these up. And it's always a good idea to do that because you don't know what's going to crawl in there or what's going to fall in there. So you come in here and you're cleaning off stuff, and all of a sudden something pops up in there and starts tearing up your rings or tearing up your walls or whatever. So it's always a good idea. If you don't want to tape it off or whatever, just stuff some paper towels in there. That usually helps keep crap out. Also, if you want to, you can just put your injectors, just set them in there. That helps keep shit out of there too. So that's where we're at. What do you guys think? It's going to look better with the Cerakoted stuff on there, right? Once I clean all this. Yeah, it's going to look really nice with the Cerakoted stuff. God, this thing, what a horror show. Maybe if it came, I don't know how else you would run it. Maybe just a little bit longer coming around the back here. But, I mean, damn, man. It's the other nice part. When you get big stuff out of here, gives you access to stuff you can clean off that hasn't been touched in years. Oh, filter sandwich plate line. Oh yeah, that's where the IAC stuff comes from, is from the sandwich plate. You know what, while I'm here, I should probably just change out that oil filter. You know what, I'm going to do that tomorrow because I have it's hard to access the oil filter from down there. I have it right here. I'm just going to change that out. We're getting a brand new wicks tomorrow. We get some extra oil in there too. So I forgot that was right underneath the plenum. Let me stuff some paper towels in there. So I have these cool paper towels. They break off into quarters. And you can see I stuffed up there too. This just keeps, it's a peace of mind thing. And I'm not too worried about the injectors because we're going to put the other injectors in there. So not too bad, right? Probably looks a little bit better like that. There we go. We can put tools away and call it a successful evening. Yes, I'm one of those weird guys that puts tools away. You don't see that a lot, right? And the pliers, done with them for now. God, I hate those hose clamps. We're gonna do power grips. We're gonna do power grips here. We're gonna do power grips wherever I can on this. Definitely on the fuel rails or on the fuel feed lines. Just those hose clamps got to go. They're bad. So that's it. Intake's off. It's protected for now. We'll get it cleaned up. Get that face cleaned up and get that other stuff on there. I guess we can do another one tomorrow night, right? And finish this off. At least have a running car. So yeah, let me get the crap off my hand. Finish up with you guys. Yeah, there we go. Nice clean sink. It's filthy. I just cleaned it today. Now it's all dirty again. All right. Yeah, I'll check with O'Reilly, see if they have the correct size fuel line. And maybe Advance has it. Someone maybe has metric fuel line. I'll check for metric fuel line and then definitely putting a Wix filter on there. Purelator is okay. It at least filters oil, unlike some others, Fram. So I'll give you guys a shot of everything we took off of the car tonight. And see if I can find a masseuse for my back from being hunched over the little tiny Miata all night. So here's all of the stuff that we removed from the car. Gasket, plenum, throttle body, fuel injectors, 4 through 1, fuel injector rail bolts, the wire harness bracket, the main plenum support bolts, 9 bolts for the plenum, throttle body gasket, bracket, 2 bolts, 2 nuts for the throttle body, the PCV hose, the other PCV hoses, the vent hoses. So, or that's the IAC hose. So that's all the stuff we took off tonight. And only 2 cuts, one here and one back here. So not too bad. Excuse me. So that's about it. We'll be back and we'll do. I'll try and get you guys a little better shot of everything. Nope. Why would you roll forward? So there's a little different shot, and you can see how difficult these bolts are to get to down here. These guys. Those are really difficult to get to. And this does not help at all. It's cool, and that's fine. And I lost my green cover. Damn it. There it is. Because I got to move stupid line all over this place. So
And it looks like he was resting on this. So they might want to consider like a support bracket or something so that it's up out of the way. You do have a spare bolt right here. You can just do a little L bracket, comes over on this side and holds it up off of that. So
Something to send to Flying Miata. There's a spot to do a bracket to hold this up, because this is kind of laying in the car, and then it's pressurized from the plenum onto, let's see, we have an AC line and another AC line. So you might want to get that up off the bracket, or up off those hoses and off the plenum. You can also see the EGR back here, how close the starter is, etc. And you can't really see the oil filter. If you come right here, you can see the oil filter right there. That's getting replaced tomorrow. So I know I'm going to lose a little bit of oil. It's okay. We get some oil back in it, but it's important to get the good stuff in there. So this car's okay for now. We're going to close the hood on this just as a safety. Again, we don't want more crap in there than already is in there. So we'll turn off the light, we'll close the hood, and we'll come back tomorrow. We'll have a new oil filter on there, and we will have new fuel lines, and we will put the Cerakoted intake plenum on the car. That's it. What is with my hair? You guys don't say anything about my hair. You just let me run around like this, don't you? Do you love that? Do you love it? It looks like someone, like I was in a fight. Is that cool? You guys like that look? Okay. You guys can have that. I don't care. It's fine. Thank you guys very much for hanging out tonight. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you had a good time. Hopefully maybe you learned something. And we definitely all learned something about Super Miata. Cooling system block off. And oh, the other good thing that happened, I got the swatches for the powder coat, for the roll cage, and for the brake calipers and the other parts. I think I got it really close. I got to check it during the daylight. So we're very close on that. And I think that's about it. So yeah, tomorrow we'll come back here. We'll put on the intake plenum, get everything back going. And with any good fortune, we'll start the car too. So it would be nice to have this running and driving again. By the way, I took the door cards off because I was going to do the window regulators with you guys tonight, just to keep it, super simple. And I took the door cards off, and the door is covered in Dynamat, like side to side, top to bottom. If you guys don't know what Dynamat is, it's a sound deadening material, and it's about 1/8, maybe 1/4 inch. It's about 1/8 of an inch thick, but it's got a foil backing, and then on the other side, it's all that black urethane crap. And it's great for sound deadening, and audiophiles love it, and for clean audio. But to take it off is a huge pain in the ass, like huge. Dry ice, scraping, all this stuff, needle scalers. It's bad. It's bad. So I got to figure out what to do. I think what I'm going to do is leave a lot of it on there, and because it is the thinner stuff, it's not the thick, like 1/2 inch stuff. So I'm probably going to leave it on. I'm just going to cut the access holes that I need, just the OEM access holes. That should be plenty, and it'll probably take about 5 pounds of weight off the car. Just stuff's really heavy. So we'll do that on a different one when I do the regulators and get those swapped over. So thanks everyone for hanging out. I know it's a school night. I appreciate you guys staying up late. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, definitely put them right down there. Shoot me a message, shoot me a text, whatever. I'm happy to answer it. If you guys want to see something really specific, definitely let me know. And we'll be back. Let's come back tomorrow and we'll do another one. Don't forget to show someone that you love them today. Give me a kiss on the cheek. Give me a kiss on the tip of their nose. Hold their hand. Give it a squeeze. It's really important for them. But like intakes and plenums, it's far more important for you. Thanks, you guys. We will see you later. All right. Have a great night, everyone. Rolly stool. You love Rolly stool.